Okay, let me enable the attendance. Okay, attendance enabled, guys. Good afternoon, everyone. So, are you guys facing any issues with WebEx in other courses as well? So, I can tell you the story. So, I had created 3 meetings, one each for each day for both batches, and I clearly remember making it a recurrent event, and I even made it recurrent till I think 12th, 13th, 14th of March, whatever it was. But apparently, WebEx has its own calendar, and that calendar is not working properly. See, I mean, I'm not sure, Gyanendra, for us, it is told that you guys can enter up to 250, up to 250 participants are fine. But yeah, I simply hate WebEx. I just wish the batch size was less than 100 and we could move to Google Meet, but we can't actually assume it. And yeah, so yeah, that is right, Sahil. So it's really difficult to deal with WebEx. I just hope the institute had taken up the license for Google Meet, but anyhow, we have to somehow. In fact, this is one of the reasons that I actually record lectures and give it to you guys because at least the core, uh, at least the core learning part that you guys can do offline. And nothing really, Arush. I mean, I was just discussing that I created 3 meetings each for both batches. But today, when I checked, it was gone, right? I mean, it was not even a part of my calendar. So, and I did this thing 6 times, right? So it is possible that I may have missed making it recurrent once or twice. There is no chance that I could have made the same mistake 6 times. So it's quite clear that this so-called recurrence thing did not uh, happen in WebEx. So I read on online people are saying that you should attach it with Outlook or something like that. So that because WebEx calendar is not that reliable. But I'm in no mood to attach anything more to WebEx than it already has. So uh, yeah, I understand this is a yeah, it is really too bad. Uh, uh, yeah, I mean, Sahil, I understand your emotions, and I think, frankly, I have I have tried to say this before in very simple terms that I'm just a guest here, so I don't have that much of authority to speak much. Yeah, Nehal. So essentially, yeah, this is something that you have to understand that in the timetable they have given us 2 slots, right, for lab, but and I gave this option to the TAs that would you like to do it 2 days in a week, or would you like to do it one day a week? Of course, the problem with one day is that you might have to sit till 6:30 on that day, because if everyone asks for a demo, you have to somehow arrange their demos. But the TA said that they are ready to sit on one day for 5 hours or 6 hours, rather than sitting for 3 hours on 2 days. So the idea that we have now is there will be labs for both batches, IT plus and CSAI plus, only on one day a week. We have decided that Tuesdays will be the day for CSAI plus, and Wednesday will be the day for IT plus. So the other lab slots you have, they are basically free. Uh,
Sir,
yeah, go ahead. There was someone who was saying something.
sir, we have, I guess, Somesh sir's class tomorrow from 2 to 4.
Uh, so I mean, let me just check. You are in this is CSAI or
Sir,
IT?
first batch. This is first batch, CSAI.
CSAI, right? What does the timetable say?
So
So
let me.
according to the timetable, we don't have electronics class tomorrow, but then sir is not able to take classes according to the timetable because he has some other work. So he's rescheduled his classes to other days.
No, but that is not allowed. If he reschedules anything, we have to be informed. And please tell him that he
Yes, sir.
cannot take a class in that schedule. Okay, that schedule is already fixed. He'll have to pick up a slot that is free. I can give him. So I can actually give. I've already told you, right, that there are two slots for both of the batches, IT plus and CSAI plus. I'm only going to use one of them. So the other slot, I actually wanted to free it for you guys, because I can
So,
understand. Yeah.
but there's a problem that in Wednesday we don't have lab classes. So we are actually taking Somesh sir's lab.
So you are in CSAI, right? So your lab is on Tuesday. I
Yes.
right? So the other slot, whichever slot it is, because you'll have two slots in your timetable, right? For ITP lab, there will be two slots in your timetable. Okay.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. That is on Monday, and sir, he is taking classes today as well, and he will take tomorrow as well, according to his schedule.
No, but that is what you have to tell him. That you have to tell him that first of all, this is a general thing that he must understand. There is a email to us by Mary ma'am, that and if anyone takes up classes in someone else's schedule, you have to inform that person beforehand. So for example, Indra ma'am wanted to take a class in my lab timing. So I she actually asked me before that. So whomsoever is taking a lecture, you have to tell him that we can't attend your lecture at that time, because there will be a lab. Okay, I have that slot assigned to me. He can actually take any of the other slots. As I said, right? You guys have two lab slots. Only one of them is being used. So if someone wants to take a class, that person can take a class in the other lab slot, but not in the Tuesday lab slot for you. Is it clear?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, so please inform it to the other faculty member. Maybe he or she would not be aware of it. Um, so Wednesday. So like, who has sent this email? Monday 2 p.m. lab. This man, this is the email. Okay, you have to tell that person that we can't actually simply reschedule everything according to him or her. Him, it looks like Somesh, right? So no, that you have to tell him that we already have a timetable and we are following it. Okay, there is no way this timetable is getting changed. I also have, right? So yeah, Sahil, I really, I mean, I'm really sorry that you guys have to go through this. Um, yeah, Wednesday. So on Wednesday, IT plus guys will have their lab. So let me actually open up this timetable thing. Let me just, settle this once and for all. I have some emails, guys, that I have not replied to. I know I will reply to them. I have so many things on my there is something on the private and personal fronts as well. So I'm not able to work at the same pace as I usually do. So please bear with me. I was supposed to give you another lecture by yesterday night itself, but now I will upload it probably at today night. Okay. So let me just share my screen once a minute. Mm. Yeah, Sahil, actually, I try to keep, I try to plan really well, but even then, sometimes it just doesn't work out. So this is, I think, CSAI, right? This is your timetable. You can see my screen. I can't
Yes,
see
Sir,
sir.
chat.
this is not our timetable.
This is IT plus CS2, sir.
Oh, sorry. So this is your timetable. This is yours, right?
So let it open.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Yes, sir, this is
Yes,
our.
sir.
Right. Okay. So now look at this. This is a lab slot that I have, which I am freeing up. Freeing up as in, you guys are free to do whatever you want. I am basically giving this time to you. Okay. Um, but this is your regular lab slot. Every week we will have lab in this slot. Is it
Sir,
clear?
for 3 to 5 or 3 to.
Yeah, 3 to 5.
Okay, sir.
Right? So this is your regular lab slot for every week. You will have a lab slot at this point. Okay. Now, if any faculty member wants to take a class in this, ideally that person should talk to me. But even if they are taking, it's fine with me. But no faculty member can take any class in this slot. Okay. If anyone asks, please tell them that we don't have this slot as free. Okay, guys.
Yes, sir.
So,
Yes, sir.
so this is very important. Please communicate it to the other faculty member. I am ready to Actually, I wanted you guys to be free in this slot. I understand that your timetable is so packed up that you guys don't get any leisure time. So from my end, I was also happy when the TA said that, sir, we will only do it once a week. I was also happy that okay, you guys will also get some reprisal. So I
So
simply
always on
say
Tuesday, sir.
yes, always on Tuesday. Your lab will always be on Tuesday. Your Monday slot is always going to be free. Okay. I mean, unless I explicitly change this rule, this is what it is going to stick. Okay.
Okay, okay, sir.
So, yeah, Nehal, I understand. Uh, yeah, that is really, I mean, I see this scheduling. I can probably also relate with Mary ma'am because she has had very difficult times trying to match up people's schedule. It's difficult to actually schedule these things. So I can relate to the problem that she also faced, and I can also relate to the problem that yeah. I mean, uh, Abhina, I know, I would also like to meet you guys in person, and it's just that there are certain things which are beyond our own control. And yes, Abhinav, we are going to start with coding very soon. So actually, you should have probably received that lecture yesterday itself, the first lecture that involved some code. Um, but I'm actually so occupied. So I finished the grading of your seniors finally yesterday. There are so many things that I was supposed to do which I was not even aware of, and I kept on getting emails that this is supposed to be done this way and not this way, and I had to keep on changing those things. So it actually consumed my whole weekend, and uh, no, Gyanendra, I will. Thank you, Vivek. I have to upload another lecture. Actually, I have to record another lecture for you for this week. So you are supposed to get some more content for this week to study, but because I was so occupied, I just could not do it. I'm really sorry. You'll get that lecture tonight probably. I sleep every night at around 1:30 or 2, and I get up at 6:30 or 6, and even after that I am not able to manage the workload. But I hope that things will be easier, for in the next weeks. Uh, yeah, Nehal, the idea is that I'm trying my best to upload more lectures, because whenever I see that there is certain aspect in which the class is struggling, I keep on getting emails, right? So I get to understand that what is the uh, yeah, when I'm getting the same scolding from my family members as well. But yeah, I hope that my life will become slightly easier from next week, because as of now I was supposed to take up two courses, one for your seniors and one for you guys. And but I hope that after this grading is done, and I genuinely hope that there are no more emails coming to me for rectifying the grades that I have already submitted. But but yeah, so I assume that from now onwards it should be smooth. There are so many things that I wanted to do. I have to talk to you guys about using Slido, right? We are supposed to use Slido for our quizzes, but I was supposed to do a lot of things, but my bandwidth is very poor right now. Bandwidth as in the amount of time I'm having per day. So I hope it will get better. Anyhow, so Uttaran, the problem. Okay, should I say this? Okay, I don't care. The problem is I can't give them all the good grades. That is another issue. You have to understand that this is the problem, that the institute the institute expects me to provide grades in a certain fashion. Okay, and this is the problem. Uh, yeah, sorry, Vatsal. I'm really sorry. Um, and yeah, let's start. Yeah, the bell curve thing. Thank you for explaining this. So let's start, guys. We have
So,
already
sir,
had.
so what will have in recording lectures will be different from here
Uh, recording lectures as in?
in like sorry, not recording on YouTube. What you are saying?
No, so I simply upload these class discussions on YouTube, as simple as that,
Okay, sir.
right? So yeah. Anyhow, so let's start. Vatsal is getting really pissed off. Let's start. Okay, so who are going to be the shepherds? Any volunteers?
Sir, me.
Sir, I want to be.
Type your name on the chat. It becomes difficult. So Arush, you've been shepherd once, right?
Yes, sir.
Then let us wait for someone else.
Okay,
Nischal,
okay.
Nischal, have you been a shepherd before? I think you are, right? No? Okay, so Nischal is one. Sahil, I think you were shepherd one day, na? You were. I remember. Your mic was the problem. So Sahil, let's wait, right? And let us see if someone else is there. Rama Kiran. Okay, Rama Kiran is another one. So we have two. Um, Rama and who was it? Uh, uh, Arunim, you are also been shepherd once, right? Let me try to. I'm trying to see. Uh, you can blame me for this, but I'm trying to teach you so many things at the same time. This is also a skill that you should learn, right? You have to start speaking. Um, yeah, even if you guys uh, it's in technical word, that is why you are being taught professional communication. Karthik, you would like to be, so Karthik is another one. Karthik, Rama, and yeah, so there was one more person, na? Karthik, Rama, and
Sir, me.
okay, just type your name, guys. uh, so Karthik and Rama. Yes, the I mean, shepherding is, you guys, and you understand, na? Topic like whatever we have, whatever you get as lectures over the weekend, you have to discuss those things in the class. So this is the model we have applied, right? Okay. No, not till now. Whatever was the two lectures I gave, algorithm. Yeah, Vivek. Okay, Vivek is one. Nischal, we'll see if nobody else is there. I'll pick you up. But Vivek is one. Rama is one, and Karthik is one. Three shepherds already there. Uh, yeah, it's okay, Abhinav. We'll pick you some other day. Anyone else who would like to volunteer? Someone who has not done it before. Let me also be very. Sahil, were you a Pulkit? Have you been a shepherd before? Okay, Nischal, you haven't? Huh, so Nischal is one more. Sorry. Four. We have four. One more. I need one more. Pulkit, yeah. Okay, so Pulkit is there. So we have five shepherds. Okay. Nehal, yeah, actually, I don't do this because otherwise you guys will, and you understand, right? I do this in the beginning of the lecture so that you at least have a scare that I may be selected to be the shepherd. If we decide it beforehand, then others will not study. This is why I am not doing it offline. I do it. I do it on that particular day. So the bomb can fall on you as well. Uh, I'm just trying to be, I'm just trying to push you guys. I can't push you beyond a certain limit. Of course, I have my own limits. If you still don't study, I'm not a person who can punish people, but still. So we have five shepherds. Let us just rename them: Nischal, Karthik, Rama, Vivek. Oh, very good. Thank you, Savalia. What's up? So let's start, guys. I'm sharing my screen. So these are the questions you are supposed to discuss today. We can probably take, I think, 5-10 minutes more towards the end because it's my own lab slot. I know it is free, so we can probably extend it by 10 minutes, not more. So
Sir,
yeah, go ahead.
sir, as of I remember, sir, last lecture wasn't complete. Indira ma'am had called and then we had left in
Oh
between.
yes. Okay, sorry. So okay, I completed it for the other batch, IT guys. Sorry, the CS guys or something like that. I keep forgetting. I keep mixing it up. So are there any questions from the last week that we want to discuss? I don't have that document now.
Oh, sir.
Oh, you have another class at 2. Okay, guys, I'll try to free you by 1:20. Okay, let us at least have 40 minutes of discussion. Um, so yeah, do you guys have any questions from the previous week? I actually do not have that document. I just write these questions on the fly and then remove that document later onwards. But are there any questions from the previous week? Any things that were left, or any doubts that you have from previous weeks? We can simply start with them and then we'll move to the content for this week. The content for this week is probably anyhow shorter. Tomorrow's lecture we don't have too much of content for tomorrow, so we can roll over certain questions to tomorrow as well. But if you have any questions from the last week, please ask them.
Sir, I have a doubt regarding this man command, sir.
Yeah,
This
go ahead.
isn't clear. So
So
what it exactly does?
So man is the full form is manual. Okay. So essentially, what happens is when you're using. So let me. Are you guys up for a small story? Sorry, Vatsal, I'm taking up more time. But yeah. So the small story is like this. After graduating, I joined ISRO as a scientist engineer, and the first day I went to the lab, I realized that there were two bombs that I was not a guy who used to work in Linux either. Okay, so that is why I do not want you guys to repeat the same mistakes that I have done. I was also a Windows person till my B.Tech years. So when I went to the lab on day one, the first thing I realized was I was supposed to work on RHEL. They had no Windows systems at all. And the second thing that I realized, there was no internet connection in their labs. This is true even till date. People in ISRO write code without any internet connection. Okay, isn't it really amazing? Just assume that you have no access to internet and you have to write code. So now this was both simultaneously a good thing as well as a headache for me. The good thing was I actually had to write code without looking at Stack Overflow or all these internet sites, and so there I knew that there is something known as man. Um, That is what, Naveed. So that is where man comes into picture. So for each and every system call that you are going to use in your code, there is a man page. So all you have to do is, let us say, if the system call is open means it is a system call to open files. Yeah, there is no smartphone either. You can't take phones inside, Rohit. We were not allowed to take mobile phones inside. So if someone wanted to contact me, I had to share my this lab's landline number, and they'll have to call at my lab's landline number to talk to me. So anyhow, so basically, one of the things that was no, it is still true, Sahil. You still can't take mobile phones inside. Anyhow, coming back, so man page is what they really do is almost for all the commands that you are going to type on bash, or all those system calls that we talked about, right? So there are system calls to open a file, there are system calls to close a file, system calls to write some data to a file. All for all those things, you can actually find a very basic but a very important piece of document. And so these documents are pre-written. The people who build these commands, or who write these new system calls, they keep on adding manuals. Okay, and the man command, the use of man command is you actually invoke or open the manual for one particular command or one particular system call. So this is yeah. So Himanshu actually, Himanshu, did I send it back to the whole batch when I replied to you? I'm not sure whether I sent. I sent so many. Yeah, yeah. So
No, sir, you
sometimes,
send only me.
oh sorry. So sometimes when I receive a good query, when I reply back to it, I try to copy it to the whole batch so that everyone can understand. So Himanshu figured out that. By the way, Himanshu, there is a CD man page on my Mac, so that was a bit confusing. Then I realized that that is kind of emulated. So anyhow, let's not confuse them with this. Okay, let's for now assume that for every command, almost all the commands that you can type on Bash, there is a small help that is available to you without any internet connection, without anything, right? So all you have to do is just type man space and the name of that command. Okay, so for example, it is if it is mkdir, you simply do man space mkdir. Yeah, offline reference essentially. So and that man page will have references to all the switches that this command can take. So switches are basically, ways in which you can use. So for example, grep minus I would essentially tell you that not only it's a command that actually searches for files for a particular text in a case insensitive fashion, right? So minus I means ignore case. So if you want to know about a particular command, what are the different switches that are possible. Sometimes in on man pages you will also find common ways in which this command can be used. So the example for this is the zip command. If you simply forget syntax of zip, you just do man space zip, and you can see certain examples of how to use the zip command. So the man basically is another command, but the idea is that it shows you manuals for other commands.
Sir, what is the use of minus R in zip command?
It will be recursive, I think. I mean, I don't remember it exactly, but it would be recursive. R is a common switch for recursive. Recursive means, let us say you are trying to zip a particular directory. If you don't give the recursive switch, it will simply try to zip only the contents that are directly available in that directory, not about the subdirectories or subdirectories. So recursive, this is a term that we will see when we start programming. mkdir help, I'm not sure, if there is anything like this. I know for sure is man space mkdir.
Sir, I was using mkdir there. It shows that use mkdir help. So, sir,
Right.
yes, sir.
So it's like this. I mean, different commands. Let us say if you are using a particular command and you have not used the syntax correctly, then exactly what
Yes, sir.
appears depends on that particular command. So certain commands will give you a hint that instead of doing this, try to do that. And one of the things that they do is some commands have a switch, for example, to help you out. It is different from the man page. Man page is sometimes they'll show the same content. It is possible, but as a developer of, let us say, mkdir command, if let us say I understand that certain people will make certain types of mistakes, I can include it in the error message itself. So but man is the general thing. Harry, please try. I have never tried man. It should show you what man does. Okay, try it and tell us to everyone. um, Man is difficult to understand, yes, but it is a that is why I told you that story, Anshul. If you don't have internet, man is like the world for you. Okay, and I have lived in that world, so I can tell you that it is difficult to understand only because you are so accustomed uh, to reading stuff on pretty formatted web pages. The moment you start spending a lot of time in the terminal world, man will appear like an angel to you. So this is the idea that you know inculcate a habit to be so much limited. uh, I don't get this query. What exactly does this mean? Okay, anyhow, right, so
It
let us.
means that how could you manage, I guess, in ISRO with so much limited
That is
means?
what you see, you learn skills, right? I mean, if that is why I am putting you guys through this military drill, right? If I put you in difficult situations, you will learn. And this is the whole idea, that if the first few days it will be difficult, but once you get a hang of it, it's not like we used to have actual books, by the way. Okay, hard books. And so if I wanted a reference, I can actually pick up an actual book, open up the page, check up certain codes, and then type it up, right? So it's not like they are it's a jail. It's basically you do have resources. The resources are just not internet based. Okay, all the other types of resources are available to you. So for example, if you guys are aware of Java, there is something known as Java doc. So you can actually download the complete documentation for the Java library, and you can put it offline. So this is what I did. I downloaded the complete Java doc, and I put it on my own hard drive. So whenever I needed, I simply used that. So this is a habit that you guys should use. Try to use man pages. Of course, you might say it is not required today, because of course you can always do a Google search and find the answer straight away. But man pages are for you, because uh, there is a what is that law called? So Moore's law or something like that. So it says that something that can go wrong will go wrong. Okay, so if it is possible for you, sorry, Murphy's law, not Moore's law, Murphy's law. So something that can go wrong will go wrong. So if it is possible that you might end up working on a system where there is no internet connection, and you are still supposed to make changes. So in that case, it is the man command that is going to come to your rescue. So please make a habit of using man. And this will be very that this will be very good for your personal growth. Okay, any other questions from the previous week?
Sir, a small question, that why do we need editors in Bash?
uh Need editors because it is possible that you end up on a system where there is no desktop environment. Okay, so there is no GUI, there is no LibreOffice or Microsoft Word. Then how are you going to edit a file? Let us say I want to change certain content of
Oh,
a file.
yes, sir.
how,
Yes.
how will you change the content of the file? So that is why you need some bash editors as well.
Okay.
Hyphen and minus aren't they the same thing? I'm not sure. I mean, basically the minus sign, I also call that hyphen sometimes. um, is there a difference? Sorry, I'm not aware of it. If there is a difference, please do tell me. I'll stop using the term hyphens. They are basically the same thing. And yeah, that is right. That is what you have to understand. If you don't have internet, you don't have you don't have any other way to spend your time. You can't open Facebook, you can't open anything else. So you might as well read 450 lines. It's not a bad thing to do. So so yeah. Anyhow, so any questions from the last week, or shall we start with
Sir,
the
please explain the sir find command, sir, is syntax, sir.
which command?
Sir, find, sir, is its syntax, sir. Sir, dot slash and
So let me tell you, there are so many ways in which you can use the find command, but the most common way is this. This is something that I always remember. Otherwise, for others, I too have to look. I'm typing something. Just a minute. Let me call it part of file name. Okay, so this is the most common way in which you use the find command. And what does this say? Let me just tell you. So when I gave the bash lecture, I told you that these so-called dots and double dots, they have some meaning when it comes to bash. Okay, the meaning of a single dot means current directory, from where wherever you are typing this command, the same directory is the current directory. Let me also show it to you like this. I'm just sharing my bash shell on Mac. Where is the share thing? Application window. Okay, so you guys can see my bash, right? Bash shell. Okay, so let us say, let me find some file. So I have some. Let me go to this power log. Yeah. Okay, let us just look at this. There is a file called deployment.pdf. Now let us say I want to find this file. Now the command is something like this. I say find space. Now the first argument is where to find. Okay, and where to find is when I write dot slash, it means the current directory. What is current directory? You will see your current directory here. Okay, this temp thing. This is my current directory. So what this means is find dot slash, it means look, try to find a file. Dot means current directory, so it means try to find this file in the tmp directory. And find by default is recursive as in if there are any subdirectories in temp, and then subdirectories, find will also go and look inside them. So this is TM. This so Saurabh Srivastava is the name of user actually, and TMP is the directory I'm currently in. So let me just check you. Okay, so now this shows tilde, right? So tilde is the short form for home directory in Bash. Okay, so and when I go to this point, this is what it now. If I let me go to PowerShell. Power log, this becomes power log. Okay, so essentially this is where your current directory is. And so now these are the contents of my current directory. And let us say I want to find a file which has deploy, or let me just use something else which has the term ploy in it. Okay, just the ploy, ploy. So how do I do this? First thing is find dot slash. Dot slash means look in the current directory. Then minus, I could also do name, by the way. Okay, but the difference between name and I name, the I is a different thing here. Name is different and I is different. And in Bash I can actually merge them like this. So basically, this is another thing that I probably should have told you. I can write it something like this: minus I minus name. Okay, there are two switches that I'm using here, minus I switch and minus name switch. Or I can also shorten it up by writing it like this without any spaces. If I put a space, then it won't work. If I put a space, then I'll also have to make it minus name. But if I want, it's okay, Sahil. Let us do this first. So I'm just doing this, or I can do this. These are equivalent. Okay, so minus I name, and then I say star ploy star. Okay, so what it actually did was, the star means, anything could be here. It could be 0 or 1 characters. This means that what I'm currently looking for is a file whose name, in whose name that these ploy characters are appearing. There can be anything before ploy, there can be anything after ploy. Okay, and let me also give you some more examples. So I made this PLOY capital, right? And still it was able to find it out. Why? Because I put minus I here. If I remove minus I, then then it cannot find that file. Why? Because minus I means ignore case. Okay, so it means that PLOY can appear in either small or capital case. It doesn't matter. It will look for both. But if I don't give it minus I, it will look for this exact string, right? So let me just create a new file. And now if I do this, now it has found this file, right? So there is a new file. Is it clear now? Why was it able to find this when I did this? And let me do this now. Sorry. What happened? What did I do? Minus I name. Sorry. It should.
Sir,
Yeah, someone has a question.
I was asking that you were saying about minus I, but you just wrote
Oh,
minus name.
minus I. So minus I. Okay, let me just open up this. Then you will understand. Now, come here and see what this minus I says. There will be a minus I defined somewhere. This is what it says, right? Minus I name. So like minus name, but the match is case sensitive. Does it make sense? Like minus I is similar to minus name, but with it, but it becomes case insensitive. So this is something that you have to understand, that on what is it, why does it have dot slash slash? Okay, let me come to this. So on bash, everything is actually case sensitive by default. Okay, so I can do this, I guess. Touch a and a. So you can see that there are two files. Mm, okay, so this is Mac. So okay. This is the problem, guys. Mac is inherently case insensitive. So this is again, right? So many guys actually ask this question, no? What is difference between why can't I simply use bash on Mac? This is the problem. I just figured one problem out. So ideally, this touch a command should create a different file than this a command. Okay, but because on Mac, the file system that they use, it is case insensitive. So small a and capital A are exactly the same thing on Mac. um, so so if there is, what if yeah, Nehal, what was your question? Let me first take up her question. Does it have dot slash slash before? Okay, just a minute. Let me close this WhatsApp. um, there was something that you want to know, no? Oh, this dot slash slash, is this what you are asking? So,
Yes, sir.
yeah, so this is basically, a way of giving you. So let me show you how to understand this. Is there any file in Ubuntu server? There is, right? So let me just show it to you what it means. Find dot slash minus iname. And by the way, I can straight away realize that this find is different from the find I use in Linux. Okay, it is similar, but the results are not as I expect them to. Um, so anyhow, so now Nihal, look here. So what it did, so this dot slash means your current directory. Then it says another slash Ubuntu server slash Ubuntu server.ovf. So basically, uh, this dot slash is just saying that if so this particular file is directly in your, this particular file or directory is directly in your current directory. Then for each slash that gets added, this essentially means a subdirectory. And that is what I was saying, right? So this bash is slightly different from the bash that we use on Linux. So this is the idea. Now, who else had a question? If there um, if there is two who have, Sahil, what is your question? I don't understand. There is two who have ploy. What is?
So like we use iname minus iname. So if we have ploy, if we have two such files who have ploy in
They
between
should
their,
be shown. In fact, this is the problem. I don't understand why this particular command I gave this, no. This should actually show all this deployment.pdf as well. Okay, I mean, by convention, what it actually means is something like this. It will look for any file that has deployment here. Let me actually try this. Uh, Yeah, that is what, right? I mean, the bash's version of find is slightly different, and it is probably because the file system is slightly different. Can anyone try these things on a Linux terminal? I'll actually have to start my VM, and it will take up some more time. But the idea is something like this. Okay, um, these outputs are not as I expect them to. The idea is something like this. If I put it I name, the idea is it will look for this pattern, and this is exactly what the man page also says. Um,
Yes, sir. Tried it previously and it worked fine.
right. So the bash on on Mac is not the same as the bash that you get with Linux, right? So there are so many people who have asked me these questions. This is a very simple example. Uh, Yeah, so Udbhav, this is what, right? So this is what it means, Udbhav. Find means this is a command. It is supposed to find files, and it can find files with different ways, right? So for example, it can find files with different types of metadata. That is the idea, that name is just one property of your file. There are many things like last modified, created. There are so many things with the help of which you can find a file. Name is just one of the properties of your file. So but this is the command that you will most likely use. Human beings remember files with their names, and usually not by the time they were modified. So the most common way to use find is like this: find dot slash is the current directory. It means that the hey find command, find a file in the current directory whose name has the term ploy in it somewhere, right? So this is the idea, that if it has ploy in it, find command should find it and tell you. If I make this switch name instead of I name, then right, yes, I understand. Yes, I completely agree with it. I've been using find for a long time, so I can actually tell you, that this output is not correct. Okay, this is not what is expected to show. And sorry for confusing you guys like this. I should have probably shown it to you on an Ubuntu machine. But the
Sir,
but
I have checked right now. Doing iname displays both the doc.
Right. That is
Yes.
exactly what it should, right? I mean, this is what the man says, and if you
Sir, can we find two different file in one syntax?
you can, and that is what I'm telling you. Ideally, you should, right? This is what some guys are telling you, that it will give you two different results. In fact, let me try something like this.
Sir, can I share my screen? I can show it right now.
Yeah, sure. Shashwat, right? I'll make you the
Yes.
presenter. Just a minute. Shashwat.
So you could SSH into one of our servers.
Okay, Pranav, just no, whichever is faster. I'll think Shashwat's thing will probably be better. Shashwat, I'm making you a co-host, so I think you can now share the screen. Yeah, Pranav, that is a good idea. What I'll do is I'll put it as a script file on my bash. So someday, whenever we'll want this, I'll simply run the script and SSH to your machine.
So it's
Sir,
like
I'm
just
not
one
getting.
line.
Yes, even that would be faster. But I'm not getting the option to share content right now.
Okay, good. Tell me, Pranav. I'll just type.
It's SSH
Yeah.
guest
Hmm.
at
Mm-hmm.
Gabriel GABRIEL
Mm-hmm.
dot SED
Hmm.
dot LOL space dash P 33000.
What is the port number again?
33000.
Okay, this is the port number, guys. I'm just
Yeah. Password is IIITL.
it works. Good.
Yeah. This is proper Linux bash.
Permission denied. Okay.
Yeah, MKDI or something.
So there
MKDI.
yeah, fine.
Yeah, permission MKDI or something, and you can change to that.
Right.
Yeah, now it should work.
Right. So let me create a few files here. Touch deployment. Touch deployment. Touch DEPLOYMENT. Okay. Let us say I have these three files. Okay, and you can see that these are three different files. They are not the same. On Bash, when I created it, A and capital A were basically the same things. But you can now see that these are two different things. If I do touch A, it is a different file. If I do touch A, it is a different file. There are two different files here. On my Bash, there was just one file being created. So anyhow, so now let me do this. Let me open the chat as well. Okay, this chat thing scrolled up. I have to scroll back to the bottom. Okay.
Sir, is -L and -LTR is same or is different?
So LTR has a special thing, right? So essentially, like I'll show you the difference. Okay, so ls minus l and ls minus LTR. Can you see the difference? So with LTR, I'll get the most recently modified file at the end. Okay, this is easy. If let us say you have thousands of files in your directory, LTR would basically mean that the recently modified files will be at the bottom. So this is like kind of hack. It will be easier for you to read.
And sir, in -L it's random or it's
No, ls minus, so ls like this will just show you files like this, right? When you say ls minus l, it will show you details. If you say ls minus l and you say t, it will show you the same thing, but with time. Okay, and if I do time reversed, so r stands for reversed. Okay, so then basically it is sorted by time, but in reverse order. So the most recent will be at the bottom and the least recent will be at the top.
sir, in -L it's random or randomly?
It is alphabetical. Okay, yeah, yeah. So by the way, why are you getting D and the problem is that ASCII code of capital A is 65 and
Yes.
ASCII code of small a is 97. So actually this small a is greater than capital D. don't worry about ASCII for now. But this is the reason anyhow. So anyhow, we were discussing something else. So this is the find dot slash minus I name. Right. Today's lecture is gone, right? I mean, sorry. Uh, minus I name. Okay. So this is a very strict bash. I actually have to do it like this. So yeah, ideally the patterns must be. So this is another thing, right? I mean, there are so many versions of bash. The versions that I use are a bit more forgiving. So sometimes I simply miss, and this is because I have been using Mac. I have been getting corrupted. I have to go back to Linux world. So anyhow, this is the proper way. You put your string in quotes. This is the correct way. You have to put it in these quotes. Okay. So no, both means, so it's like this. If I don't put one of it here, so this essentially means ploy can now appear anywhere in this file name. If I don't use this, right, so it means that uh, now it will not show you, but let me do this. Touch deploy. Is it making sense? So essentially this is saying anything that ends with ploy. Okay. Similarly, sorry, this says anything that starts with ploy. Okay, so if I do touch deployment and then I run this, then you'll get it. Okay. So a star at both beginning as well as at the end would mean that this string can appear anywhere in the file name. This is the idea. Star is basically, we call it wild, wild card. Wild card means that anything can appear in place of it. Anshul, I don't think we should go in that direction. I mean, I would actually love to show you guys so many things, but unfortunately, we have some more things to cover today. So let's, right? So,
Sir, what does your name represent here? Sir,
name is the name of the file.
sir, it's common for every. मतलब
It's what?
सर मतलब ये सिंटेक्स में आता है क्या हमेशा?
हाँ, ये सिंटेक्स में आएगा. ये सिंटेक्स में आएगा. ठीक है. सो आपको जब भी किसी फाइल को सर्च करना हो, अगर आपको उसके नाम से उस फाइल को सर्च करना है, तो यही आपका तरीका है. यहाँ तक आप चाहें तो याद कर सकते हैं, find dot slash minus I name, और इसके बाद आप you have to put it in quotes. Okay, whatever you have to do, just do it like this, find dot slash minus I name, and then put it in quotes. Whatever part of the file name you remember, you put it in quotes. You can also put star before and after. That will actually make sure that this part can appear anywhere. Okay. So Arunim, what is your issue? Any questions? So what does the terminal not have normal cursor? This block or dash. What is a normal cursor, Nehar?
So, like in Windows, we have like a kind of pipe sign between the two characters it is supposed to be in, but here it's not clear where it is left side or right side.
If I'm not wrong, you can actually modify this. You can actually, yeah, you can come up with a different prompt if you want. It's just that people don't usually do it, but it is configurable. Everything in Linux is configurable, so you can actually configure it to be something else. It's just that it might become too confusing. So try to stick with the regular one. Try to get
used to it.
Get used to it. Yeah.
Yes, thank you, sir.
Yeah, Arunim. Minus I name is a part of the command. Okay, the only thing you supply every time is this part. This is the only thing that differs, and this part basically is the constant. Yeah, minus name also. So minus name and minus I name. The difference between minus name and minus I name is, if you don't put I, then you have to type the characters in the same case. So for example, if I just do, now I can probably show it to you. If I remove -I from here, the the file, so this file, no, that file will not show up here, because here ploy is written in capitals. But if I add -I to it as well, so now this file also appears. Yeah, so that is what Uttaran has already told you, right? So you can actually go and modify your stuff, but don't do it. Okay, don't spoil yourself like this. Otherwise, one day you'll sit on someone else's terminal and you'll find you are in some different world. So try to get used to the defaults. Um, Anyhow, sorry guys, we have gone far too much in this direction. But let's come back. Today's shepherds, I am really sorry to you. I have hijacked your day of fame. So let's uh, uh, so let's start, guys. I'm really sorry, but I want at least the beginning of the discussions today. So we will have to go up to 125. So I'll free you, because I know you have a class at 2. So I'll free you up at 125. We have about 8 or 9 minutes left. So let's at least discuss something today from what we were supposed to discuss. um, where is it? Okay, let's start with the first question, guys. Shepherds, please answer. What is an algorithm? Yeah, next class, same Shepherds. Sorry. So you will be the Shepherds tomorrow again, but let's start with this.
Okay. So, shall we start? So
Yeah, go ahead.
algorithm. There's a specific defined steps for solving a problem. Like whenever we face a problem, there is a process that we approach with. Like first we approach the problem, then we solve the problem, and then we come up with output. These sequence of steps together are termed as an algorithm. This is what algorithm basically is.
Any queries, please ask.
No queries?
Oh, very good. So everyone knows what algorithms are. There are no queries. This is really good. I'm becoming a good teacher, like looks like. Yeah, I'm repeating. If you have any queries, please ask. Otherwise, we'll move to the next question. Oh yeah, good Shepherd too. Sorry. I'm again taking your fame today.
So shall we continue? No doubts.
So, what is pseudocode? I will explain next time. Okay.
Yeah, no problem.
Yeah. In computer language, like we know, we have to code, and what is pseudocode actually? The algorithms which we follow, the steps to solve a question, when we write that algorithm into a more precise form or more short form, constrained language, then that particular algorithm is known as pseudocode. Like we are not actually coding, but yeah, we are using somewhat the language of code. So that is what pseudocode is.
Yeah, so basically you write the algorithm in the form of a code which is not exactly, it does not exactly have syntaxes, but then it's in the form of a code. You represent the algorithm logically, that's all.
It's not like writing something in English.
Yeah, it's different
Yeah,
from algorithm.
pseudocode
As we have already said that it is more concise form or constrained form. An algorithm is just like well-defined steps. Like in algorithm, we can just elaborate anything which is related to our steps. But in pseudocode, we have to be precise of what we are doing and not just exceeding it.
Yeah, basically, algorithm is in a language which is closer to us, and pseudocode is in a format which is closer to the hardware.
Generally, pseudocode is a mixture of programming language and our general language. In algorithms, we cannot find that basically.
Any queries?
Any queries, guys?
Which is closer to the hardware, algorithm or pseudocode?
Pseudocode.
Pseudocode.
Okay, so if pseudocode is closer to the hardware, and you say we have to be precise with pseudocode, so we are giving less information to the hardware. But since we know that hardware understands very basic information, giving it less information, wouldn't it mean that it won't understand the whole program?
No. We are all
Not giving less
it
information. We are
less
giving
information. We are giving
in a
precise
constraint
information.
form.
Yeah, precise information we are giving it.
Yes.
So basically, you write the algorithm in the form of code, but then it does not have syntax. Like in C++, suppose you want to print a plus b, two variables a plus b. Suppose a is 2 and b is 3. So you write cout, and then you write the full format, right? Cout, the whole syntax, cout, a plus b, and then semicolon. But then in pseudocode, you would just write print, then colon, a plus b. So it won't be in the form of the syntax, but basically you write the code which is somewhat similar to the syntax that would be there in the language you code in, but then it's not exactly the same. So it's somewhat like code, but not exactly like code.
We are not giving it less information. We are giving in just a precise manner or constrained manner.
The pseudocode, the name itself tells, no, it is not code, it is pseudocode. It is in the form of a code, but it is not syntactical.
Okay.
What is Nihal's doubt? Can you please unmute Nihal?
Yeah, my question is like pseudocode doesn't depend on the language which you're writing the code for, right?
Yeah, it doesn't depend upon the language.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I meant by language agnostic, like not depending on that. Independent.
So
yeah.
So Nehal, essentially, I'm sorry guys, I had to like intervene because we have only 2-3 minutes left. So Nehal, the issue is usually you are right, and each of the shepherds are also right that pseudocode is not something that is associated with any language, but this is the theoretical thing. In practically, when you actually write pseudocode, it is usually closer to a programming language. Okay, so for example, a Pascal programmer, if you ask that person to write pseudocode for the same algorithm, you'll see that the algorithm will be written which is similar to how Pascal code is. Similarly, if you ask a Python coder or a Java coder to write the same write the pseudocode for the same algorithm, you are bound to see some some inspirations from a language. So while technically pseudocode is not code, so you are free, it is, as you said, it is language agnostic, but practically you will see, in fact, if you go to, I think, the Wikipedia page for pseudocode, they'll probably show you pseudocodes that are similar to C, pseudocodes that is similar to Pascal. So in theory, it is supposed to be agnostic to the language, but practically we will see that many a times it is strongly inspired from the language that you are going to use to write your code, because pseudocode is basically one step before you write the code. So the closer to the code you are, the better it is. So one more, can we discuss anything else?
My sir, internet issue, sir. Can you repeat the same thing?
Yeah, so it is like this. The idea is that pseudocode essentially has no restrictions. Okay, so you don't have a restriction saying that you can write this and you cannot write this in pseudocode. Same thing is with algorithm. Pseudocode is a bit more structured, a bit more closer to the code. And so in theory, it is right that pseudocode is language agnostic. It is not with respect to any specific language, But practically, when you will start seeing, in fact, it will happen to you guys as well. After you guys have done a course in programming in C, if I ask you to write pseudocode for some problem, you'll realize that your pseudocode has a lot of C in it, right? I mean, a lot of your statements will be C-like. Similarly, if a person is programming in Python or Pascal, that person's pseudocode will be very similar to Python code or Pascal code. So this is like the practical thing. In practical sense, you will realize that pseudocode is actually a bit inspired from particular languages. But yeah, in theory, they are two different things.
Sir, we can
Yeah.
say that pseudocode is also an algorithm.
Oh yeah, so pseudocode is basically a representation of your algorithm, which is far more formal as compared to algorithm. Algorithms can be very informal. People can write algorithm in very vague fashions. Pseudocode is a bit more structured towards getting your tasks done with the help of code.
Okay, sir.
No, Anshul, it's not like this. I mean, different languages. So languages have nothing to do with pseudocode. Okay, so it's not like there is no software out there which will check your pseudocode. Pseudocode is basically just a preparation before writing the actual code. Okay, and the idea is uh, it happens in practically it happens that if you are planning to write your final code in C, your pseudocode will look pretty similar to how C code looks like. Okay, so I mean, because you're going to convert it into C code. If you write it in an even more abstract fashion, yeah, the concept is same, right? Concept is same. So this is a good way to look at it. That pseudocode is basically code snippet without syntax formalities. So you don't have to follow the syntax exactly as it is. You are free to write whatever you want. Uh, yeah. That is right. I mean, Nehal, you can basically, instead of saying "see out," you can simply say print, okay, or out or something like that. So it's up to you. You can write whatever you want. So pseudocode is you can
So
it's
basically, sir, we can write pseudocode anywhere, right? Like on either on a paper or.
yeah. Pseudocode is not.
Okay.
It cannot be executed by computer. That is why it says pseudo. Okay, pseudo means false. It may look like code, but it is not code. It cannot be executed by your computer. It is basically for your own understanding. Okay. So sorry guys, I think we have ran out of time, but we actually covered some questions today, and we will pick it up from here tomorrow. You guys can go and have lunch. You have a class at 2. So thank you, and sorry we had to. Khyati, you will be shepherd. I have taken your name. You will be another shepherd for tomorrow. Okay. And so 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 I can say Sahil, let's not go into those directions. So yeah, thank you very much for being so active. And we'll meet tomorrow, guys. Okay, let's go and have lunch and prepare for your next lecture. Okay, bye, guys.
Thank you, sir.